Welcome everyone. Today I'm having a special guest for our video for Direct Strike. We're giving this a try and we're gonna start our first Warcraft 3 Champions game here together with Frankenstein, who's been pumper in this game.
Hello.
So we're gonna have him teach me how to play this game and basically see what kind of, let's say, tips and tricks you have for any beginner from an advanced or pro in this game. So I'm looking forward to that, Frank. Thank you for joining me today.
Of course, thank you for having me. So, first, I just want to get a couple of questions in. Like, I don't know how much Direct Strike you played.
Mhm.
I don't know how much you know about this game. So, could you just tell me, like,
Yeah.
you know how much you played? Like, what's up?
So I have been playing this on Battle.net only, and I have been watching other content creators on like how to do it. So I know my fair share of what I'm seeing at the front, what kind of needs to be done. But like I am still lost on like when I play it, I still don't know what counters what to do in a specific situation. Like I know what the game is all about. So I think I'm level 10 in Battle.net. But honestly, you could talk to me like you've never like you could do this to me like you've actually talked to somebody who's never played it as well, because
Alright.
for me everything, like for example, I was watching a video on like how many heroes you can have, and what I didn't know was like you could have 3 heroes. I only thought you could have 1. So like just those things, I'm still level 10 where I didn't.
I see.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing.
Yeah, okay, got it. All right, so I'm gonna just go through the basics. It's probably gonna take like an hour, maybe 40 minutes, hour 30 minutes to get through everything. And then after that, we can like analyze your game. It's probably not a good idea to do it while you play your placement games, because the first 5 games you play on Warcraft 2 Champions is gonna determine your starting MMR.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, if you get stuck in low MMR hell, it's tough to get out.
Okay.
So for this first game, I'm actually just gonna watch. I'm gonna like what I want from you is that whatever decision you make, I want you to explain why you make it.
All right.
And I'll either not say anything or I'll just comment about like, okay, why are you not doing this? Why are you doing this? And then once we see it, we can go back to the game and see like why you did what you did and what you could have done differently.
Gotcha.
And we'll go from there.
All right. I am actually hyped right now because like I never played on Warcraft 3 Direct as well. Like this is the POV of somebody who's just been playing it on Battle.net, and this is so awesome to have an MMR system in here. Like I'm looking at this right now. So you start at 1,500. That's the NOOB.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So from what I know is, like I know that when I'm like in the 3rd position, I have actually enough time to. Oh, this is draft already, so there needs no time to be selected for that. That is different in Battle.net. What I know is I basically can, for now, let's start from 0. I can like take my stuff here. What I usually like, I just take what I enjoy to play. In this case, for example, I would take the right side just because I like the shaman who does like the berserk stuff, and these guys are pumpers with the with the piercing damage. So I'll take this.
Bloodlust. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All
right.
I think I need heal. Like I have 2 options here. Like I just don't know which one exactly to take, right? So in this situation, I just take what I think, like what I know, right? I never played these bear guys here, and I never play these, but I do play these too. So I just play what I like and know. So I'm selecting those.
Got it. All right.
And for these, like I know this guy basically can show you like invisible guys, but I know that this Witch Doctor also has a ward that does that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Kodo for the extra damage.
Yeah, Kodo's also very solid. Yeah.
And this are honestly, like, I know the tanks are pretty cool. I take them because they have like, I think they're the best tanks. I don't know why. They have like good armor, like that doesn't get destroyed too much by different attack types. So I'm taking this. Or do you have a different in this lineup? What would you say?
No, it's fine. That's fine. You're doing great.
Okay.
You're doing great.
This is actually.
And by the way,
yes?
I'm not saying anything on purpose because I need to like. There's no point in me telling you what to do. I'd rather know why you're making a decision and then helping you understand the reason behind. Like, why your decision was good or bad. This way, in like 5-10 games, you'll be much better than knowing, oh yeah, make this unit in this situation, and you don't understand why.
I see.
So I'll be a little bit less talkative, and then after the first game, I'll be I'll be very talkative.
Yeah.
So
Perfect. No, that makes sense. So I'm just gonna talk, and whenever you want to, say something, just interrupt me or cut me. No problem. Easy game. This is crazy.
No worries.
I never had like this was the experience I know from back then where you was able to like drop players. Holy shit.
Yeah, but now you're gonna have to draw, unfortunately. So just type -draw because game's over.
That was the best first game I've ever had. So what did I get from this? Is this actually then like
is defeated?
What? Did I lose?
No, it's just a draw. Like,
Okay.
No,
okay.
like you don't get anything. You don't win. You don't lose. You just
Perfect.
draw.
Okay. Where do I see
try
like
again.
my game history?
So you can actually check on the website. Also, it will give you a rank here, but you won't get it until you have 5 games. So this
see.
is like the 5 placement games.
Mhm.
Usually, if you want to find the best chance, people like become really good, and then they go in, and their first 5 games they're trying really hard so that they can get higher MMR,
Mhm.
and therefore they'd be getting into better lobbies, like theoretically, but higher MMR lobbies. But we're not doing any of that. We're jumping in the trenches.
Yeah. All right. All right.
You're gonna be having the 1500 experience.
All right. We're gonna do the same logic again. Do you think there are a lot of Smurfers actually in this? Like, for example, this.
No, so actually in this game, in this ladder, smurfing is banned. So you
Whoa.
can't have more than 1 account. I mean, obviously people can do it, but once we find them out, we ban them.
I see.
So
Okay.
you don't want to do that. And a lot of players actually, like high MMR players, they want to have a smurf because they get so high MMR that they can't find games.
Yeah.
They need to have other people to match them. And they just like, can I have a smurf? It's like, no, you can't. Reason being is that it will ruin the arranged team thing. I can talk about this later, but
Okay.
Smurfs are not allowed at the moment.
Gotcha. So this one, I don't know why I fell in love with these guys, but I'm gonna take them because very often the Enchantress here is immune to magic. So like very often I see other guys just like the magic spelling guys. They actually just run past her.
Yeah,
that
they
destroys.
can't target them.
Yeah. I'm gonna take these just purely because of like the reason of heal. And I like the necromancers. Like they have also frenzy, which is cool. So I can use that instead of the thing, I guess. And we're gonna wait for the next one.
All right. So far, so good.
Honestly, I've never played these guys here. I don't even know what the hell they do.
They're anti-caster. That's what they do.
So I think since I already have these here, they're immune. I'll just take these guys here because I think the priest also has something like disenchant or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, dispel. They have dispel.
Dispel, exactly. And I think Tauren are just so crazy. Like every time I play them, they're very nice. I always use these. These guys are very squishy, it feels like, even though they are, like, in my opinion, even though they are tanks, I feel like they go down very often real quick. So I'm just going to take these here. All right.
All right, well.
So from what I know is that depending on your position that you're in the game, you actually definitely don't want to do the gold
Yeah, you
line.
do need the gold line.
Yeah,
Yes.
ASAP. So I think in the first round, like if you're in the second position, you're not able to get a hero. What you're able to do, or what you should be doing, is that you want to put down your gold. You want to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a couple of these. And I think
Good choice.
I'm putting them up a little bit more because I saw Grubby say that when you put them up a little bit more, exactly like this guy, if you will, let's say, attack like also 2 other guys, like you know that these 2 are going to focus 1. They're not going to like lose their, let's say, attacks on some others. Like for example, this guy fighting versus another footman. This guy fighting versus another footman would be not that nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna.
What you're talking about is focus fire. Like you want them all to attack the same target. That's also very good.
Okay.
Good concept to know.
So that's out here. I could have spent actually a little bit more gold. Oh, he's fighting here. He wins this. Oh, okay. And we have, and what I know is that for sure, like once we're over the other side, we definitely get 10 gold more, right? So
that's so nice. You made a blind headhunter wave 1 and your enemy has Huntress. So that's good because Huntress have unarmored and headhunters have piercing, so we do more damage.
We're pumping. All right. I think what I can save for is a little bit gold for a hero in the second turn. So I will just save for that and see how this goes.
Okay, I'll give you one piece of information. So heroes take 30 seconds to train. And tier up, so like going from tier 1 to tier 2 takes 45 seconds. So you are on time, like you can get the hero, but usually if you're not sure, just look at your timer and look at your gold and see if you can get it or not.
Yeah, I see. Now it's looking not bad. We got the extra gold thing here, so I guess it will be a little bit close, but I'm just gonna go for the all right, perfect. I will have like 6 seconds. Yeah, 6-7 seconds that will work. What else? Like we're actually pushing, like you want to be on this side all the time. What I also heard is that like if you're getting pushed in harder, like you are actually losing, you want to make sure that you put your units on the back of the field here, if I'm not mistaken. So that was also something I heard. At least what I saw, but I'm not sure if that applies to every situation.
For now, choose the best hero you got. Come on.
Oh, I'm gonna do this. Come on.
All right. Any reasons as to why, which hero, like...
Yeah, this guy, like, I don't know the other guys. The Medusa woman that I saw was, if I'm not mistaken, like she doesn't do really that much damage. This guy, from what it seemed and what it looked like, is a good tank. Like, I don't know, he just tanks well. I've seen him, like, survive a lot of fights. But I think I put him on the map wrongly because he just got destroyed by all of them. Like he got focus fired from him.
Yeah, he used melee heroes tend to go to the front and tank and die. It doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that the way you play them, you have to be careful that they're gonna do that.
Yeah. Would you like suggest to put him a little bit more to the side like this? This is also sometimes what I struggle with.
Yeah, this is fine. I mean, you just want to have other units in front of him so that he doesn't take the first hit. What I would suggest right now is to think what your opponent has and how to counter it.
I see. I think the guy was having a lot of like huntresses, so piercing damage is I think the way to go. So I'm gonna do a lot more of these guys.
And what hero did he have?
He had, oh my god, I think he had this guy who was shooting like lightnings. So
Farseer.
Yeah, the Farseer, exactly. What damage does he take?
With not lightning though.
No.
He started with wolves.
Okay. What do he also had a lot of these huntresses as well. I don't think he had any of headhunters. I don't know what wolves
Whatever you do, just spend your gold. Whatever you want to do, just spend your gold.
I'm gonna do it all here. I think for the next turn I'm gonna go for the upgrade here. Let's see.
So what's the idea behind the upgrade? Why do you want to go upgrade?
I want to have the
so look at your hero. Look at your hero for a second. It's gonna be funny.
Oh.
No, like in the...
Because he was running around?
Because he was so far on the side. Yeah, he didn't get the aggro, so he ran off while the army went in the middle and fought. So you may want to, like, address that.
Yeah, for sure. I see pierce and siege damage as well, like for these guys, so actually this is a good choice. What does this guy take?
It's winning.
Nice, we pumped him. So why I want to do this is I do want to get some heal. I also want to go as much as I can for like the upgrade here. I want to have, I think the best upgrades I'm going to get is like this upgrade for the headhunter. So doing this I think right now would not be too far off.
I see. So you want to reach your late game faster, basically. You want to go to your berserker late game. Okay, cool.
So these guys, there are a lot of shamans. Like this guy had shamans, the other one had shamans. So the pierce damage is a good bet here.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna face this guy for now. I actually never take a look at what my friends do. Like my teammates. I think I need to pay more attention to that as well. But
yeah, but that's maybe later. Like,
okay.
Of course, it's very important, but I don't think you should be focusing on that right now. Right now, just focus on what you're fighting and how to counter it.
Okay. I think we can do...
Okay.
Does this even make sense? I don't think it does, but we just invest a lot more now into this. My ward keeps dying since I have to fight orange.
Yeah. Just forget about the guys that complain. Everyone's gonna complain. Why is my ally not winning his lane? That's the usual experience.
I never know what to like do with this, but I'm just gonna do.
Coil is good.
Okay.
Coil is good. Yeah.
The wolves take more damage from magic. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm losing this fight though. Maybe my front line is dying too quick. I don't know. Maybe I need more sustain. I do have like. I do have like damage for magic in here, but I don't know if these guys are like really helpful. I think what I would do usually in this situation, I would just like mix things in like now. For example, now I would not know what to do. I would just do like the healer to the back, right?
All right.
And yeah, these dryads, they have pierce damage as well, and they are good against the magic damage. So I'm gonna get some dryads as well. Why not? Because this guy has like
most importantly, they have Dispel.
Oh yeah, true. But is that actually that needs to? I need to upgrade that.
You can have it on tier 1.
That's good to know.
Okay, the upgrade is available from tier 1.
Oh, I see. Actually, not even like, not also her, but this guy also does Dispel. That's good to know.
Yeah.
There we go. Removes all buffs from a unit in a target area. This is even nicer. It's like a AoE.
AoE.
Can I do it now? Like in the fight? That would be nice. More Dispel, the better.
Yeah, okay. Red almost pushed back. Like he was getting pushed by orange, but he almost cleared his way for you. That's nice.
The coil did a lot of damage on him. That's good. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah. So you see, your dryads should be dispelling these wolves now.
I know that the ability AI I can like also use, but like for now I didn't see any reason to like shut up anything.
You don't have any units that are worthy of like you microing for them right now. You just have ghouls and headhunters. Like, what are you gonna micro?
Yeah. I think my front lane is dying so quickly. Like, I think I need a stronger front lane because I think it's not the damage. I don't think it's a damage issue. I just think like they're not being held off pretty well. So what I'm thinking of right now is I just either do more ghouls or I pump more into damage. Like, I think pumping into more ghouls would be like a waste of money. So I'm just going to go more into damage because later on they will be, I think they will be redundant. The more I invest right now into headhunters, maybe that'd be the better way to go. I'm just.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that for now. Even though I know I'm losing, I'll just invest into this. Maybe it also makes sense is to just position myself better.
You're betting that eventually, once your frontline problem is solved, then your damage will just easily win, right? That's the idea.
Exactly.
Okay. Then you probably, with that train of thought, you probably need to reach your better frontline soon.
Yeah. So I'll save money now, not spend. I don't think I will be able to get the... Actually, if we're able to push this tower, what I know is that when you push the tower, you get, I think, 100 gold, 120?
Yeah. 125, I think.
Yeah. So this could actually bring me above the edge here. Magic here is
and your
pumping.
team is helping you.
It's looking good.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Piercing damage is not great against fortified, which is the tower, so I don't know if you're gonna kill it here, because you have a lot of piercing damage.
I think it's just gonna be a lot of damage before this guy comes up, and then... Yeah, okay. But... I could sell a unit.
Sure.
Yeah, so let me do...
Yeah, it's fine, go for it.
45 seconds, come on.
Go.
Did it. Alright, we're gonna have that, but... I don't think I'll have enough gold to get out a Torrent siege engine. What I'm definitely gonna do is I'm gonna go for, you know what I would have loved? Something like every time I know that, for example, I think there is a set of rules that I can follow, right? For example, Pierce goes on unarmored very hard. Right now I'm missing that knowledge. For example, I know that this guy has armor heavy, this guy has armor fortified. And I know that their army has a lot of, like they have huntresses that have normal damage. So I think
You may want to build and then continue talking after because you have 7 seconds.
yeah, I'm gonna do the tank because I know the tank is fortified. Normal damage does not do a lot of damage on that. I will have to reset my units though. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna see how this fares.
Alright. It's tanking a lot, that's nice.
Alright.
Might even fight under tower. Would be good for you. But it's ranged, unfortunately. Hunts are out of range.
He has a lot of... I think the tank was a good choice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on building tanks. I'm gonna go back with these guys a little bit, so that they're positioned a little bit better.
Alright.
Like this. I have another little bit of gold for this. Actually, what I want to do is these to the side. Boom.
Okay.
What else? So we have a little bit gold and time to like do stuff. I think it. Oh yeah, the Berserker upgrade. That's what I wanted all the time. And I'm gonna have to actually get a couple of guys to give me frenzy soon because I didn't spawn or build any of those. So that's... Oh wait, this guy else has to like move a little bit. Maybe like here. Not too far. Not too... Like so that these guys just get the first brunt and then this guy can walk around. What else?
You're a spawn now. Okay. You got 180 gold unused. Again, probably not a good idea. Usually you should spend your gold before you spawn. Oh, air coil. Fortunate. Okay, so what do you think, like, you need right now? Like, the team, what's the biggest threat the enemy has? What is what you can do about it? You know?
Yeah. I mean, looking at this right now, like, I always was losing a lot versus this man here. I never had a front line, so I think I just want to build out my front line more and more. Maybe I need a little bit more sustain because I feel like I'm dying quick.
No, but you are fighting other lanes too, so I don't think your plan is bad. You're just fighting other lanes, so you can keep doing your plan. It's not bad.
Okay, so we're building out front lane more. Inner fire. Let me just see what that does again. Oh, more damage. That's awesome. Actually, these guys are like, I need to build. So I think damage is fine. Like these guys in the back. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to build out more like front. And also magic, so a little bit more of these priests, for example, to cast inner fire. I've heard that, and here's the thing, like when you are winning, or when you are actually pumping their tower, like that's when you want to get the second mine. But I think there's a lot of discussion around the mine, so I'll not do it now.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll get to that, don't worry.
That is heavy.
Spend your gold.
Yeah.
Spend your gold. Yeah. Alright. So I would recommend you at this moment in time to get your second gold mine. I'll explain why later, but I think you need to get it now. Because it's kind of late in the game and you will fall behind if you don't have the second one. And you are pushing now, so you're safe. So yeah, second gold mine would be good.
Holy shit, we're winning hard here.
Yeah, your calm paid off, and also you had a stack with both your allies, so that helps.
Yeah, they have like both their heroes in there as well. I'm gonna put this coil here. What I also heard is that... Oh my god, we got extra gold now, this is good. What I also heard is once the hero like reaches level 5, 5.5 to 6, you want to get out your second hero.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's also a very good thing to do, because a hero discussion is just simple. Whenever your hero reaches their power spike, you want to get another one because then you want to keep getting XP. But the thing that I would add that's a little bit more nuanced is that not all heroes have the same power spike. So some heroes have their power spike on level 3, some have on level 5, some have on level 6. So the decision to when to get the second one depends on what hero you have and how the situation is going on in the lane. Not necessarily, oh, my hero's level 5, therefore I need a second one.
I see.
And the reason for that is like level 6 is the ultimate, and usually that's the power spike.
I see. Okay. I can get another tag
spend
actually.
That gold.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Boom. So I think working with the hotkeys here is also crucial. Like, you just like those couple of seconds at the end. I feel like very often I'm just like risking it a lot. Like I hope to get the money by the end of the turn to get the big guys out. But yeah.
I don't think you should be worried about that because it's first couple of games you're playing and you don't have a good sense of like how much gold I have, how much gold I'm gonna get. So don't be too harsh on that. Just focus on building and you'll be fine. And I just want you to notice what unit he made that last wave. Did you see it?
It was a huge mountain giant.
Yes,
but I was not looking into. I mean, I was checking it, but I didn't keep it in mind of what it was, like what kind of damage he takes or whatnot. But these guys are also. Yeah. I'm having a long and hard time actually killing these men. I gotta do something about this. I need normal damage.
Yes, yes you do.
Alright, let's see what we can do about that.
Your comp, what do you have for normal damage?
I got torrents. Oh, okay, we got the torrents.
Right.
Do that.
Let's go for it.
But he was placing them. Where did I place this guy? Maybe a little bit quicker actually. Taking a little bit too much time to do this. I think I'm gonna place one here. Maybe I can get a second one actually, that'd be nice.
Yeah, you can. You have a lot of time.
Boom. Another one. I think...
Okay, so...
Yes?
I'm gonna give you just one advice. With the army size that you have right now, upgrades would help you. So getting 1/1 upgrades, like 1 attack, 1 armor, will be very helpful because you have a lot of units that benefit from it.
Gotcha. That makes sense. There was what I also heard, which was interesting. Oh, there's the mountain giant. I want to check him out now. I've never seen this unit actually, like not in the normal one.
Yeah, because this is a skin. Have you looked at the skins in this game?
I know that there is this, like you can buy them. Yeah, you get like extra currency and stuff that you can buy with which is super cool.
You're gonna have a lot of fun. The main reason I was playing for a long time is just the skins because they're cool. So it's gonna be fun.
Okay, so I got destroyed.
Yeah, but you had to face a stack. See, like they have all different heroes, blue, orange, and purple there. So it's fine. You don't need to get annoyed by like losing against a stack. That's normal.
Okay. Strike armor. Yeah, what I also failed to mention before was like I didn't know what exactly is gonna be the extra number of like there was something about like 12.5% that you get from upgrading this that I seen in a video, which I found very. I think it was Grubby who said like you get like 12.5% more damage or whatever the hell. Like I don't know if that's true or makes sense, but that's
yeah, it does. Actually, I was very impressed because Grubby started to play later. Like, of course, he played Warcraft like ages. He's a legend, but he didn't play DS. And I did the calculation many times about like upgrades and stuff. And in my opinion, and what I know and what I follow, and like it's the generally used metric, is that once you have 13 units that benefit from the same upgrade, then it is viable to get it. Like it costs you less money to get effective HP and damage if you get that upgrade over than if you build another unit. But if you have less than 13 units, then getting that extra unit will give you more value, DPS value and tanking value. So him saying that, yeah, actually it's 12.5, it was similar. Obviously in melee there's more considerations because you can micro, so here you can't micro, so slightly different, but yeah, he's right on track.
Yeah, it's a numbers game at the end with some cases, right? There was also some interesting, something interesting you said about mines, and also basically what is kind of worth of getting a mine versus being greedy. Like it's kind of like a, you know, being greedy versus for your teammates thing. So how much do you go for yourself, and how much do you go for your teammates? Would definitely want to get out that hero. If I can get him. Now's the time, because we're like almost level 6. So I got enough time to get that out. But basically what he said was getting over to the other side of the enemy, of this middle line here, basically is worth...
That's very valuable.
Effectively it is worth 6 gold mines, because the other team loses like the gold on their gold mines, and our team, like every team member, gets the extra 10 gold. So I like the spin that he put on that.
Yeah, get that hero. Bottom. No, don't do this to me. Get bottom. Come on.
Who? Sorry?
Priestess of the Moon.
Okay. Bottom. Oh, yeah, that's an
and get a unit. Get a unit. Too late. Too late. It's fine. It's fine. Too late. So if you click that unit that you just built, you can sell it with 100% gold because it didn't spawn.
Oh, which one was it?
This one,
this one. Yeah, I can see it here.
Yeah, see the colors, it's 100%.
It's shiny.
Yeah, so you can sell it before the next one for 100%. But once the unit spawns once, then it's no longer that. Okay, get your ultimate quickly. Get your ultimate. Kind of important. So look at the fight. I'll get back to the whole topics of like everything again, but kind of crucial for you right now. So you want to see what your opponent has and quickly build against it. I'll give you a general tip though. So when you're pushing right now, which you got to stack, but you will be pushing, you want to make damage type units. You don't want to make sustain or healing, because you're going to be pushing on their side. And if you don't kill them quickly while you're pushing, then they have a chance to stay alive, then stack with their ally, because they're closer to their fort, they're closer to their spawning base, like spawning point. So a general tip that I didn't know people didn't know, like I thought everyone knew, but then I watched some of the new players stream. When you're pushing, make DPS. When you're getting pushed, you want to build more sustain. Obviously, you don't ignore the other type completely, but that's generally what you want to do. Because if you don't, you're going to cause the opponent to stack, and that's the worst thing that can happen.
I gotcha. I'm just going to go full DPS.
So now it's interesting. Yeah, that you're doing this, even though you know that your opponent has mountain giants. So the attack type that you're searching for should not be Pierce.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
it's fine. It's fine. You got the push, so it's not that bad.
Yeah,
And actually, your team lost the stack if you're looking at the map.
Yeah, I was just so busy putting these out into the mid. The reason why I was doing these to the middle was because when I was looking at this, he has the mountain giants in the middle, and my torrents, like I wanted to have them in the middle as well.
On the side.
Not on the side, exactly, so that they can actually do this, like to attack them the way that they should be getting attacked. So the golems here, though, I mean, they take normal damage here. Like other normal damage that I have here is
Torrent
only...
is great. You can keep doing torrents. Torrent is great.
Yeah. Good, so we're going to use these, push them a little bit more to the side. And actually what I forgot to do, upgrade them. I think at this point I want to do that. Sorry for the camera work here. I move my camera with the middle mouse button, and then it just would be nice to fixate at the camera at some point, so it doesn't play around with it. I think
it's fine.
Not looking too bad, right? Like there's actually reinforcements coming in. Okay.
Actually, this is like very bad because Yellow lost, and he made the 2 heroes. Yeah, 2 heroes of orange are coming at you, and they have a very good late game hero in Torn Chieftain. So
I see.
Yeah, if Yellow can't really help win his lane, you guys are gonna be in trouble.
Oh shit.
Which I think you guys are already in trouble. But let's see.
When I'm facing these guys, they also take normal damage. It's just good that I invested into this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, his golems are just
Yeah.
destroying me. Like I
Yeah,
need
it's
more.
unfortunate. When you're fighting the stack, even though your army setup is okay against the enemy, you're not fighting the enemy. You're fighting like 2 other lanes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's gonna be tough for you.
Let's see. Do we have other normal damage here? That's just Tauren and ghouls.
Well, you do have other units that you can help support your army with, like Necro,
Mm.
Talons. You have Chimeras that can do come from
Mm-hmm.
air. So you have options. You have options.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skeletal damage, unholy frenzy. Definitely need this. Cripple. I heard like I heard you definitely want to take this thing, but you want to put off cripple. Does that actually make sense? Because the crippling.
Okay, so yes and no. So cripple, if you're against spell breakers, which can bounce your attacks against you, then yes, you want to turn that off because they're going to use cripple against you. If you're not against spell breakers, then no, cripple is actually very strong because it delays the enemy, like it reduces their attack damage, it reduces their attack speed, so it's a great spell. Like, it's great.
Okay.
Okay, so you're doing this. Our Necros have always been used not for cripple, not for frenzy, but for raise dead. Like, you swarm your opponent with skeleton mages and skeleton warriors, which is the tier 3 upgrade, the skeleton mage. But for this to work, you need to have a lot of necros, like maybe at least 6 or 8 at least. People go for like 12 or more. And to do that tactic, you also need to have a lot of like frontline that dies because you want to get the corpses. If you don't have corpses, you have no units to make skeletons with. So that's the way that necros are used generally. It's a way to stack. It's a way to look at orange. Not orange. I mean yellow. He's doing that, but he's not doing it that much. But he has different units. Okay, your bottom is leveling. That's great. She has a very good ultimate and a very good aura. So she's an excellent second hero.
What are we gonna do about like my durability for my hero? I feel like he's dying very quickly, and I think like his aura is actually very important. Do I just like put him all the way to the back so that he doesn't die that quickly?
Yeah, do that. Honestly, at the moment, other than giving him items, which I wouldn't recommend right now, you don't have much to do. Because your enemy doesn't have air, and one way people make sure their hero stays alive, melee hero, is that they give him an orb. Now, when you give him an orb, he's going to be able to attack air units, so he's going to hit them, so he's going to stop. He's not going to go to the front line, so he's going to stay back and survive. So if your melee hero is dying and you want him to stay alive and the enemy has air, you just give him an orb, he stays back and hits air. But purple doesn't have air, so there's no... there's no hook for you to hang on to. I mean, oh no, he has 2 air units, but
yeah, not many though. Oh wait, I got my ulti.
oh, ult.
I hope she does.
That's good. She should, but she is not doing it for some reason. Okay, but now if she does it, it's gonna be a waste because you already won the wave. Do you want to use it on the next wave?
Oh wait, actually I can turn it off for now.
Yeah, turn it off and then turn it back on now. Oh, she doesn't have mana, that's why. Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so because you got the high level silence, uses a lot of mana, and she doesn't have any mana to cast her stuff. And now, oh my god, big bad voodoo. Oh,
Oh, the ulti from the enemy hero, right?
Yeah, Shadowhunter has an ult that makes all the units around him invulnerable. Very broken. Not uncounterable, but very broken.
Do I get out more Taurens? Like, I don't even know, man. Looking at these guys.
There's a lot of stuff you can do. What do you think is your biggest pushing and then not being able to push back? Pushing, not being able to, and getting pushed back. Like, what's going on?
I think like we're not able to get a good backline. Like, just where usually these guys just create a crazy strong backline and then come on. I just pump it out. Like I didn't. At this point, it's hard for me to think and talk. So I'm just pushing out money. which probably is
Alright,
not the
cool,
best
cool.
way to do things. Uh, I think I could have
That's
like I had
realistic.
600 gold, right? Like could have used it a little bit differently, but I just pump it out into magic, hoping that it does a difference, or at least these necromancer guys here. But I think we just got destroyed here. I don't know.
Yeah, this was tough because I think third lane had a lot of problems, even though, I mean, none of the lanes played even remotely close to perfect,
Yeah.
but I think the main swing was on third lane. One, the army was losing, like Yellow's army was not able to beat the air of Worms on Orange,
Yeah.
and that alt really, like both Torn Chieftain Endurance War level 3 and Shadowhunter Ultimate, they're both very strong. And Orange has a sick army, so can't really fault Yellow for dying. The game's not over yet.
This guy is also building like
It
the
might be.
torrents. Ooh.
Oh no 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 no
Oh.
no no no.
I think
He
it's
used
over,
it,
right?
so he.
Oh,
Oh
geez.
god! Oh god! Look at the. Let's just look at your face.
Ah, no. Oh, fuck, man.
Oh, it's over. Oh my god. Okay, so you saw what happened there?
I mean, the goddamn worms were just pumping into that thing. Oh my god,
Yeah. So
man.
because Red had Shadowhunter,
Yeah.
he used Big Bad Voodoo right close to the base. So when you use it, it makes all your units invulnerable. It doesn't make the base invulnerable. So one of the the biggest like traps, things to avoid, you don't use your Big Bad Voodoo ult when you're next to the base because they're gonna ignore you and then they're gonna kill your base, which is exactly what happened.
No,
So
man.
yeah.
That is so sad. God damn it.
Okay, so I don't recommend you to click that button again. First of all, thanks for showing me where things are, like where you at.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be talking a lot now.
Okay.
So there's gonna be a lot of information.
Gotcha.
First of all, let me send you one thing. So if you go,
Mhm.
it's not a plug, it's because that's where I wrote it. So I had actually made a guide for DS, and I want to share with you one part of it.
Yes.
I think it's gonna help you a lot. So
I think it's this one,
moment.
right? That I'm sharing right now.
Show me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that one. So if you go scroll, maybe actually just go a couple of pages and you're gonna see the table. Yeah, go to the table of contents. No, just go to the table of contents.
Gotcha.
And you're gonna find one more.
One more.
No, you just scroll
All the way down, right?
okay,
I think
page 5.
Page 5. There we go.
No, page 5. You're on
Boom.
the
Oh my god,
okay.
it's a table.
So
Okay.
so could you click on the second one bottom left? Bottom left.
That one.
Yeah, if you click on that. Yeah, okay. So actually go back like maybe 1 or 2 slides. I'm not sure where it is.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is what you're looking for.
Exactly.
So there's
Holy.
attack and armor types. So this is the same for all of Warcraft. So all Warcraft units games, they run on this. Of course, some map makers, they do different percentages, like they mod their game. But Direct Strike uses the melee percentages. So first step, if you ever want to learn what to do, what do I counter, what do I need to counter, is you'll learn this. You'll learn what's the best counter to what. So you're not thinking like, oh, what unit is good. Half the fight is knowing this is the weakness that my opponent has. Let me build the unit that can exploit it. Oh, this is the weakness. This is the attack type that my opponent has. Let me build the units that take the least damage from it. So, and you see it's highlighted. I'll give you like a quick summary of it. So basically, frontline units have normal damage. Normal damage is the best type of damage in the game because it does almost 100 to everything. So it doesn't have a weakness per se, but this also means that it doesn't have a strength. Its strength is against medium armor, which are range units like Archer, Fiend, Rifle. Those have medium armor, but generally, like no one in their right mind is gonna make Rifle against a Grunt. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So you make the normal damage. One, because in the early game, your Q unit, which is like Footman, Grunt, Ghoul, Huntress, they are the ones that are tanking for you and doing damage at the same time. So you build it and then you make like casters behind it. Magic deals with frontline, so your E unit, which is your caster, so Shaman, Banshee, Dryad, but I mean Dryads don't have magic, or Sork, they deal with the enemy Q units.
Yeah.
So that's the dance. It's like I make Q, you make E. Now I make E, you make W. Oh, wait a minute, but now I'm losing my front line. So now you make more front line, and so on and so on and so on. So whenever you're lost, just go back to this page, see what armor type you need, and what unit you have that can do it. Now, not all the time, like if you follow this, you're not always going to win. Why?
No.
So for example, a unit like Huntress has a unique interaction. It has unarmored, but it has normal damage. So when the enemy in that last game, I'll reference it just because it's still fresh in your mind. When he had Huntress, you needed to make Dryads.
Yeah.
Why? Because first of all, he had Farseer. So if you made 3 Dryads, those 3 Dryads would instantly dispel level 1 wolves, both of them, and his hero would be useless. Now, it wouldn't be useless to still have auto attacks, but his ability is just not there. Secondly, they are magic immune, so whatever magic damage he does, like shamans, 1, they can't attack them. 2, their second ability, Lightning Shield, won't work on them. And now 3, which is most importantly, they have piercing damage.
Yeah, which
so
is
they would
here.
have done more damage to hunts. Even though it's not like the best, because the best one is against light armor, which is air. So Dragon Hawks have light armor, which means that, again, your opponent making a couple of Dragon Hawks when you were spamming Headhunters, that also didn't make sense because he was just lucky that they were pushing, and that's why it worked. But his decision to make unarmored or light is not correct.
Yeah, I see.
So yeah, but for example, hunts, if you make headhunters against them, which is what you did, it won't always work because after a certain critical mass, Huntress will overpower the ground because they have bounce upgrade on tier 2, and they just get so strong that they wipe out your front line, they wipe out the headhunters or the back line because headhunters have normal damage. So as soon as your front line dies, your back line is exposed. While, for example, if you had grunts as your front line, it wouldn't be as weak against the headhunters. The hunts are weak against it, but they're still winning, but they're weaker. But grunts would just own this matchup, like they would own the headhunters if you made them.
Yeah, wouldn't the grunts have like they would have? Do grunts have medium armor type? Is that it?
They have heavy. Every other Q units have heavy.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, good to know.
I see. So that's the gist of it. This is attack and armor types. Now I'm gonna go over some stuff in the game. So first of all, gold mines. Yeah. Actually, could you go up like in the like couple pages about gold mines in this?
I think there was it was here, right? Gold mines.
Income sources.
Income sources.
Income sources. Yeah. Okay. So basically, I'll give you a summary of how it is. You always want to get your first gold mine. In some cases, people are playing super aggressive, and they're playing with specific types of units, and they feel that they might lose if they build their first gold mine. So only on the first wave, and maybe even up to the first 4 waves, they don't build the first gold mine. They just pump out units. So they want to win, they want to sacrifice for their team, and they want to get momentum. So generally, you don't want to do that because it will be risky. You won't be able to know when you can do that and when you're going to get punished for it. So get 1 gold mine all the time. You start the match, you get 1 gold mine. Now, secondly, you make some Q units, you make some E, you make your hero, blah, blah, blah. And then why do I say that from 8 to 12 minutes you should make the second gold mine? Because a lot of people have different ideas about this, but I'll give you my take. So my take is the most important thing, as was said by Grubby, is that you have to be winning. If you're winning, then you're giving so much more gold to your team and you're denying so much gold from the enemy team that nothing else matters more than winning. So the problem comes in, what if you can't win? What if your enemy set up, like let's say you had goals, he had shaman, you're getting wrecked, you can't do anything. If he had grunts that game, it would have been even worse because then you had ghouls and what was your E? Dryads, I think, which have no magic damage. So then you wouldn't have anything for the heavy armor of grunts, and you wouldn't have anything to defend your own ghouls against the shamans. So you'd have lost like even worse. In those is you just got to keep building and trying to find solutions with a hero, with tier 2, with more units, with stacking, building back and forward. But at some point, your enemy will be so far ahead that if you don't get your second gold mine, you will be behind and you can't come back.
I see.
Some top players think, okay, well, yeah, even though this is the case, I have to build because every gold I spend on the gold mine is less value. It's less units that I can be pushing with. But here comes my second argument, which is that the only time that you can get a second gold mine is if that you pay for it completely free by mid. What does this mean? So if I'm getting middle, I'm getting 10 gold per second. Sorry, oh, that would be insane. 10 gold for 20 seconds. If you're winning. So the cost of the second gold mine is 200 gold. So how much time does it take if you're constantly winning middle to have 200 extra gold on your opponent?
I think it was 5 minutes,
That's
right?
how I think about it.
Like, what was it, 5 minutes?
Something like that. I think it was 7. Initially, it was 7 minutes. Now it was nerfed 5. I'm not sure of the calculation, but I think it's 7. Like
Grubby had the numbers. Like, first one is 5 minutes. Second mine is like 7 or 8 minutes on top. Like, I think it was 7 minutes and a half or something like that. It gets more and more gradually higher because the cost of the mine increases as well.
Yeah, and you have to wait for the timer as well. So you have to wait for the first mine to pay off, and then you start counting when the second one pays off. So because of this, if I'm winning lane 100%, I will have earned the money to freely get the gold mine at 7 minutes or 8 minutes, right? If I'm losing, then I also, like, my opponent, if my opponent is smart,
one second? I just need a second.
Yeah, sure.
You can go ahead because I think there's an emergency. Give me 1 second.
Oh shit. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna explain this part, which is that if the opponent is smart, he's gonna get the second gold mine at like 8 minutes, even if he's winning super hard. So this is the only time you, as the losing player, have to actually get the second gold mine and keep losing at the same rate that you were losing before.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, you're back. That's quick.
Yeah, I was hurrying.
Someone dying? Or...
No. It's funny if I tell it, but I'm just. It's fine. Later. Go ahead.
Sure. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
So my point here is that if the opponent is smart, then by the time it's 7 or 8 minutes, he would have freely won middle, and he has the free money to get the gold mine, right? So as the winning player, at 7 or 8 minutes, you're justified economically to get the second gold mine. Now, as the losing player, you won't have any other time to get the second gold mine other than this time, because your opponent now spent his advantage on the second mine. So you can get yours for free. Obviously, you can choose to not get it and then like say, okay, well, he lost 200 gold, so now me building, like, we have closer value, we might stack and do that. But if you don't get either a stack at this point or get the second gold mine at this point, you're just fucked. Because you lost the money, you don't have, like, your opponent is getting more and more money, and you did not generate a stack to take back middle control and equalize the income. So at 8 to 12 minutes, which is the time where one side is clearly winning, because no one is going to be winning 8 minutes in a row. It's going to be one wave from red pushing, and then, oh, actually purple on the other side now won, and it goes back and forth. So this is why the range is 8 to 12 minutes, where no matter what, even if you're winning or you're losing, you getting the mine will still economically make sense. If you're winning, it's going to be, you got it for free. If you're losing, well, actually now this is my only time to like come back into the game. If you don't get it as the 8 to 12 mark, that's fine, but then you have to make sure you stack so that then you can get to the other side and equalize the income. This is my take on gold mines. I don't think anyone has talked about it in this specific way. They're just like saying, oh, it's bad, like money-wise, when is it worth it? But it's never worth it individually. It's always worth it relative to what your opponent is doing.
It's always like, this is what Direct Strike is very much about, right? It's just so situational. It's always reacting to something. There are many ways to mix things up, but also like in gold mines, like this is also just another aspect of where you just have to react correct to the way the game is like establishing or going on. So in that depth, I haven't heard it yet. So that was very, very helpful, because it kind of like, it's not something you really think about directly when you start to play the game. you just think, okay, I get more money. But like, yeah, actually, there is so much more
Yeah.
game mechanics behind it. Like you explaining that to me was just like, it just unlocks. Oh, yeah, actually, that makes sense. Like, why is that number even important? And getting that incorrectly is very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good.
no worries. And I think generally speaking, don't be too harsh on yourself on like
Mhm.
when to get it, because I can tell you, if you're playing well enough, outplaying your opponent, you can play with 1 gold mine and win hardcore. You can play with 4 gold mines and win hardcore. What matters more is making sure that you're outplaying your opponent and that you're doing the best that you can to help your team to like not lose heart in the lane. If you do that with your unit choices, you can get 0 mine, 4 mine, it doesn't matter. But the closer the skill gap between your opponent and you, the closer the unit choices matter to where like my draft cannot win
Mhm.
and my draft is always winning, like in those situations, then your decision of like when do I get the mine becomes more important. Now, the second consideration, or I guess the third consideration that I think a lot of people struggle with is that you're not playing solo, you're playing with a team.
Yeah.
So let's say your ally is having like a horrible lane. Okay, either he's playing poorly or it's just there's nothing you can do about it. In that sense, you have to assess, should I make more units and like keep winning instead of winning by like 10%, now I want it by 50% because I want my wave to affect the next wave after me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't do that, then my ally will lose, and then if he loses, then the third guy will lose, and then my lane is going to be fucked. So
Yeah.
this assessment is probably the most important thing you can do. And if you have random teams, which I don't know if people catch that, I can't play random team because if the team is not aligned on what they want to do, it's random. There's no game plan. There's no nothing. It's like, yeah, it's like, why do you lose your lane? Well, I am against ghouls. Well, you should win your lane, noob. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, maybe you shouldn't have gone this and like help me in the lane.
Yeah.
So you have to be aligned on what you're doing as a team.
Yeah.
And this is more of an advanced concept that you shouldn't focus on now, but keep it in the back of your head. It's like, can I do something to help my opponent, to help my ally?
I
Is
see.
it safe for me to get the mine? What's the biggest threat? Is my lane the biggest issue? Is the enemy lane the biggest issue?
Mhm.
Like a couple of problematic heroes, I'll just say like in passing, is like Shadowhunter, Dreadlord, because both these heroes have very like game-winning ultimates. Like Infernal is incredibly strong.
Mhm.
Big Bad Voodoo is incredibly strong. So if you face these heroes, you may want to invest into making them low level. Like you have to win, and you have to win by a big margin so that they never get levels. Because if they do, it doesn't matter if you have 1,000 more gold than your opponent or 500 more gold than your opponent. They're gonna
So,
like swing the game.
so would that mean, for example, if I'm fighting versus this voodoo guy, like what I heard is that
Mhm.
in the similar fashion of like Dota or like Warcraft 3, the towers, when they kill the heroes or the, let's say, when they kill the mobs, the hero doesn't get any experience out of that,
Yes.
right? So the does that cater only to like the second the tower kills it, or does the tower just have to be involved in dealing damage to that thing, and that specific unit becomes void to giving out
Mhm.
any
Yeah,
experience? What's the
that's a
actual?
good question.
Yeah.
It's the last hit. Whoever has the last hit gets the XP. So if you,
Uh-huh.
as the controlling player, get the last hit, you get the XP. If the neutrals get the last hit,
I see.
then you don't get any XP. If I don't play melee myself, but I know that there's a trick with Orc where people try to pull the Ogre Magi into their base, and then they like kill it quickly with like blocking it and stuff like that.
Mhm.
If they make the burrow or the tower get the last hit, the hero doesn't get the XP. And in melee, it's a lot more important to get XP than in like in Direct Strike.
I see.
And funnily enough, I've seen some of the melee players talk about it this way, which was interesting because I think they have like 75% of the picture, which is that a lot of people value experience on heroes more because more experience more means stronger abilities, higher tier abilities, and higher tier abilities have higher chance of influencing the lane, like
Yes.
making you win. But the problem is sometimes your hero is there to serve a purpose. So let's say if I have Huntress
Yes.
and I'm losing my lane because I'm against Dryad Grunt. Yeah. So maybe my hero's role is not to get experience. My hero's role is just to tank and die and make sure that my army stay alive. So for example, Demon Hunter is an excellent tanking hero for Huntress because he makes sure that your army performs and has constant DPS against the enemy army.
Yeah.
So you can say, well, if you fight under tower and the tower gets last hits, you lose experience. But at the same time, maybe you don't care about experience and you just want to make sure you stabilize your lane. So that's another aspect you can look at.
So the Demon Hunter that you were just mentioning, I heard that he's only strong with a specific item sometimes. Is that a thing, or what item is that? Like, what would you have to buy for him to be strong?
Yeah, so Demon Hunter is interesting. He has evasion, which on high level becomes very strong when you pair it up with items. And then he has immolation, which deals with melee units quite well, like ghouls and foemen, low HP melee units. So generally speaking, Gem of Health is just a good flat HP item he can have, and any tanking items he will benefit once he has from once he has evasion.
I see.
Of course, it's always a dance. All right. So do I have enough sustain or not? If he doesn't have enough sustain, you can overpower him with Q units like normal damage. But if he has enough sustain, then you might want to give up on this like normal damage thing because he's gonna nuke your entire front line with immolation. So I would say give him Gem of Health. That's the safest one. And make sure you have enough DPS behind him so that he doesn't just tank for nothing. You want to have DPS behind him to deal damage to the front line army.
Gotcha. Damn. I think like we could talk about like each and every hero like we were doing it for Demon Hunter, because every hero probably has their own like quirks and things to know about. I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen somebody talk about like that much in depth about any hero like this on a one by one basis. Maybe we can keep that in mind for another one. But
sure. I think for now, I rambled on for a long time. I just want to know what you want to do now, because I have a lot of concepts I can explain about DS. I can like watch you play another game. I can maybe show you a replay and show you like what people should be doing, or like how you want to do. Do you have time to continue this? Or
yeah, for sure. Like I have the whole evening, so I have no.
All right.
Yeah, we can go into it.
So. Okay, so then let me think how I want to structure this. So I think first of all, I'd say the first thing to know is that you want to do learn all the units. So you want to learn, like if you go down a couple of pages, we talk about like each unit.
That's I think units.
No, not
it's not how the game works, but it should be units.
It's in the units.
I clicked that.
So this is the general like categorization of it. You should look at each unit, what it does, what it's strong against, what it's weak against, and this will be the guide of like what to build. With armor types, you want to make frontline, backline. You want to make supporting units, you want to make some air units, and you want to have a good hero against what your opponent has. That's the general gist of it. Now, you're going to learn the unit one by one. I'm not going to go into it one by one because, honestly, it's going to take very long. But I can show you, like, examples. So,
you let me know to which slide you want me to go. Just let me know.
Okay, I think there's one at the end, like, slide like 40 or something. It shows, like, game strategy, and this will probably help you the most.
Damage types.
A little bit after that.
Damage toggling. Continued effective tactical approaches.
Yeah, the one before, like this one. So basically, the way you want to think about it is you have two styles, right? You either want to make something that counters every little thing your opponent makes. So for example, my enemy made one unit with heavy armor, so I will make one unit with magic damage. All right. Oh, he made another unit with heavy armor. Okay, I'll do like a little bit of frontline and then a bit more magic damage. That's one approach. A second approach is that you want to make just a solid army by itself. So one of the combos that people have in games is Tauren and Spirit Walker. So Spirit Walkers have the ability to resurrect Taurens in late game. I'm like jumping so many steps, but I'm just saying in the late game, like in a vacuum, these two units have great synergy. So an example of an army that would just win against all ground army is like Taurens and Walkers, because one would do
Mhm.
tanking and damage, and Walkers behind were res. This type of idea or mentality or way to play is not bad, but it is vulnerable to cheese. So if you make that and then your opponent makes 10 air units, well, GG. Like, you don't have anything that can effectively kill air, and you're fucked. But if you're slowly making units that counter him, oh, he made 2 air units, let me make some anti-air. Oh, he made this. But slowly you're building the unkillable army, or like the good synergy of army that you have, which is, for example, Torn Walker. Now, the game gets quite interesting because you have units like Banshee, for example, which if your opponent has Banshee, sure, Banshee may not win you the early game, but once you're in the late game and Banshee has possession, well, if your setup was based around having a ground army like Airs, Taurens, Knights, Banshee's going to possess all of those. And for free. So,
I was thinking about a Banshee, like just like I don't know what would happen if you would just invest into Banshees all the way, all the time. Like I don't know, would that even work? Like, could that even work at all? Like, was there somebody ever tried it?
Lets you, yes. Yeah, we've tried it many times. It works, it's strong, but again, it only works as long as your opponent allows it to work.
Yes.
So if I keep making Taurens, and my opponent's like, okay, I'm making like 5 Banshees, and I keep making 7 Taurens. I'm like, okay, I want to make 20 Banshees now. I'm going to take your entire Tauren line, and there's nothing you can do. So the general idea is that counter units based on the armor types, but also over time, make sure your army comp makes sense by itself, regardless of what you're facing. Like, I have DPS, and if you go down like one more slide,
yes.
Yeah, so this is the general, this slide 45 is good, yeah. So this is the general army comp that you should have, not in the way that it's drawn, but in the categories that you should have. So you should have some form of frontline, right? You should have some form of support, some form of backline damage, air, and I'll explain why it's important to have air, and a hero. No other, as to my knowledge at least, there's no other category that it's like no units fit into another category than this. Depending on how the game is going, maybe your opponent is investing into one type and you want all your armies to be frontline, right? Some other time you want it to be only air because he has no way to counter air. Other times your opponent is very weak against heroes and you want to invest heavily into heroes. I can't tell you what is the right way because the right way will depend on what your opponent is doing. We're going to do a lot of practice games, hopefully over the coming coming sessions, and over time you'll see, oh yeah, here this is the right decision, here this is the right decision. But even though you're choosing one type, which is the right solution for that moment, you should always aim to have your army looking against all the categories. You don't want to have any weaknesses. You want to just be strong across the board. The one thing I'll say, and then we'll go do something else because I'm blabbing on for too long, is why you should have air. The reason you should have air is because of attack priority in this game. So let's say your opponent has mountain giants like last game, yeah? So you had headhunters, and headhunters do piercing damage, which is great against hunters. However, your opponent had mountain giants, so you can't get through the mountain giants to kill the hunts because the piercing damage does reduce damage to medium, which is the mountain giant. So a solution to that is to get air, because then you would bypass those. The air would target the backline. They would target any unit that can kill it, that can attack it. So, for example, like shamans, headhunters, archers, they will not go attack the front line. So even if the enemy had Taurens, which have magic damage, you'd have heavy armor. So Taurens are weak to magic. You make like a griffin. Okay, well, griffins have magic. I want my griffin to hit the Tauren. It doesn't work like that. The griffin will attack whatever unit has a threat to it. Is a threat to it. So headhunters, ranged heroes, etc. So
that makes
one of the reasons to get air is that it's not necessarily that air will win you the wave, but it will make sure that you're consistently getting DPS in. Oh, my front line and my back line is like preoccupied with dealing with your front line. Well, I'm going to add another type of unit, and this type of unit will deal DPS somewhere else. So I'm not losing time. I'm not losing like effective attack type value from attacking. I'll tell you something funny. I don't know if people know this. So when I started to play Risk, Sap was teaching me how to play.
Yeah.
And there's one concept that he was explaining that I don't know if people actually use. So you know how in Risk you make rifles and priests?
Yes.
Do you know why people make priests?
I guess for like the sustain, right?
Well, not exactly, because if you have chokes in Risk,
Yeah.
then at some point you can only fit 5 rifles in or 6 rifles in.
True.
So for this specific situation, you can add another layer, like another dimension of useful gold, which is priests. So then if I pump 10 more gold into rifles, I won't do anything. But if I pump 5 gold into priests, then I'm getting the value of DPS and I'm getting the value of healing within the same area.
I see what you mean.
So I'm not wasting my gold on things that don't matter. So
that
similarly here in Direct Strike, yeah, I could be doing like some damage, but with air, I'm hitting all the dimensions of what value I can get from my gold.
Yeah.
So that's something, again, I don't think people
I haven't heard that yet at all, no. I actually, like, that is a totally different spin on the things, which makes super sense. Like, even, like, it's crazy that you mentioned regarding Risk, because, yeah, of course, like, healing and like, priests are there for the sustain, cool. But yeah, other than that, you don't really have, other than shoving, you can change the way you approach that in Risk by being able to micro the units like effectively in that second.
Exactly.
Here, you're not able to do that, which makes that even much more important, right? So that totally makes sense. Here, you're not able to move the units on the map, which is actually something that I wanted to take over to the next point. I don't know if you had anything else to add to the army composition or air, but I would have another question that is kind of related, like with Risk and positioning. If you have anything else to add to this one, otherwise I would move to the next point.
No, yeah, so I think I said everything I got.
Yeah, for example, what I did not know, just to finish this off here with the air, I was always wondering why the hell are the air units not, like, I would build the air units because I wanted them to attack the front line of the enemy. They would go then to the back, and it was not aligned at all. But anyway, just noob moments anyway. But let's go back to like the something that I saw, which is the like not the tech path, but I don't know if you have a slide on here that kind of explains how you assort your army on the little grids. Why am I saying that? Because what I was trying to say is here in Risk, you have specific, let's say, elements of how you move and keep your army, let's say, at a specific level that kind of maximizes the attack. So the concaving, for example.
Yeah.
Is there something similar or the same mechanic that like Direct Strike makes use of in a sense of concaving? Does that also come into account here?
Yeah, so yes, but it is quite complicated. And the reason it's complicated is because you cannot micro. So I'll tell you some of the general things, because I've had this discussion like a couple of times with people. I don't think playing around with your positioning is maximized in Direct Strike at the moment. Like, people are not maximizing it to what they can be. Like, they can get a couple more percentages out of their army comps, positioning wise. They don't do that. But there are some ideas. So for example, if you build piercing, so let's say headhunters, fiends, and okay, it's a long story why I'm laughing, but yeah, if you build like headhunters, fiends, whatever, you generally want to put them on the sides. Why? Because you want them to focus fire the enemy units, especially against hunters, for example. Because if you make them in the middle, they will both hit different types of units, which is why when you said at the start, like, oh, I want my goals to be on one side, I'm like, yes, this is focus firing, and this is good. Generally, backline units make use of that more often. So air, like Gargs, you put them all closer together. Archers, you put them closer together so that they like focus fire one unit at a time. In terms of the way you position, that's such a huge discussion. The biggest thing right now is that where you position units, like front and back. So remember when I told you if you're pushing, you're going to create DPS, because if you're pushing, the opponent is spawning, like the fight is closer to the spawn point, so it's there's higher chance to stack. So if you have your range DPS all in the same place, they will focus different types of units and they will not kill it.
I see.
When the opponent is building, actually the range point was that's a brain fart. Forget that. Yeah, when you're building back, you're artificially creating this deck. Like you're artificially changing the place of the fight to where the wave after you comes in and saves you, and then you guys create a stack. Stacking is very strong. It's the core concept that top players use and manipulate. How to engineer a stack, how to stop a stack from happening if you see it coming or if you don't see it coming. Because this will swing the momentum of the game. It will swing, oh, the fight's losing, now I have like a completely different set of units with me, and now we're winning. And now this buys me time to do X, or I can secure my lead with getting like this unit or a gold mine or whatever. So stacking is the most important, building back and front. You have to play as a team to utilize this. There's no other way around it. You have to know what types of heroes I have. Do I have a movement speed aura, like for example, Torn Chieftain, that will reach middle faster? So then the player before this guy, let's say purple has movement speed aura, then blue should build back. So then they catch each other. But what if blue is fighting someone that's also building back, and then him not reaching there fast enough causes the enemy to stack? And so like you see, like there's layers to it. And you have to judge case by case again, because you can either win the game by it or lose the game by it, because you like fuck up the momentum and the flow of the waves, and you're suddenly like losing much harder, or you're suddenly winning that much harder than you were. In terms of the concave itself, honestly, not so much. Like, just try to make sure your hero serves its purpose. So, for example, if you have a melee hero, understand, do you want it to get levels and protect it, or do you want it to be in the front and you want it to tank, depending on the army comp. If you have, for example, damage, magic damage, backline damage, piercing, whatever, you want it to position it relative to where your opponent has the unit that you want it to kill. Because just like how you position your archers or whatever on one side to focus fire, but your opponent can just move their units and they can put it on the other side and put the tank where you position your focus fire. So it's not about there's a specific set of positioning that's good. It's about how is my positioning relative to what my opponent has. That's where, will my unit reach there and hit there faster? There's like small tricks, but that's the general like gist of what you want to do.
The more I'm learning about this game right now, like the more you're telling me about it, just makes me realize how much there's more to learn. Like you just realize what a noob you are actually, how much you have to learn to get like good at the game. But it's actually crazy. I think I will watch this video again and again just to hear about what you've been saying, because there's so much knowledge around that where I feel like we could talk about this for 10 hours. And actually I'm down to do that. So
yeah, but I will say it's going to be too much information, so you want to pace yourself. I'm explaining general concepts. The learning is going to come once you are put in those situations and you make a decision and it fails, and you're like, okay, so why did it fail? And then you come up with a solution, and then you try that, and it's like, oh, then it failed, and this time it worked. Oh, actually, I got lucky there because my opponent could have done this. Okay, so what should I have done? And this is the real experience, but it's gonna take time. Like it takes. I'm telling you, if you want to learn the game properly, which, by the way, the major downfall of players is not that they're bad; it's that they approach the game from the wrong angle. Like they say, oh, this unit is good. I've been making it. It's winning me games. I should do it. Oh, this unit is weak. This needs to be buffed. No, you want to think about like what you did wrong, how to improve, and what's like why are things happening the way that they are. So if you have a good base, which is what I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to give you the solution. Oh, this is the current meta build.
Yeah,
no,
makes
I'm
sense.
just giving you how to think about the game, and then from there you'll have your own spin. Because many times new players come up with new ideas. They're like, oh, I never thought about that. And I'm telling you, no one, like I played this game so damn long. Okay, I have a lot of games. I don't think anyone in the community has more games than me. And every time there's something new that I'm finding. It's like just last week I was talking to my team. It's like, oh, remember see this happened, like, and without even like I'd say maybe 400, 800 games minimum. Like actually trying to learn every game. That's where you're gonna get the basics of like you're gonna catch up to what people think. If every game, like 400, 800 games, you're thinking, you're losing, you're iterating, you're going to be fine. Now, the unfortunate part for the new players is that one, all the other old players are like ahead, and secondly, you're starting to play on draft mode, and before that it was mixed mode, which is very random. So it's hard to have two games that are the same. Now, this is good because it makes replayability very high. Like I can play 100 games and no two games are the same. But at the same time, that means if I'm trying to learn and like test things, I can't do that because I can't replay the same situation.
Yeah.
So I'll give like a take that I've been saying for years, but it's controversial because I actually don't like the mode as much. So there's actually a classic mode, which is just the 4 races, which has the general like orc, human, undead, elf. And in those, in this one, this was how the game was initially, before the new modes came about. So everyone could just replay tactics over and over and over and refine, oh, this army comp is good. Oh, this hero is good with this setup. Oh, these 2 races are good together because you can do this combo, blah, blah, blah. Oh, if you have 2 of this race, you can do this. And people, the way to learn the game properly is to actually play classic, know all the concepts, know all the units, know everything, and then you can jump into the fire of like the randomness of mix and draft and whatever, because you're going to be faced with more situations where one, the heroes are random. So like I could never have a mountain king with my grunts as orc, but now I can. So what does this mean for my lane? What does this mean for grunts used to win against, for example, hunts? Well, now when I have a mountain king, does this change anything? Well, hunts were usually accompanied by demon hunter, but what if I have a lich with my grunts? So and so on.
The mix kind of like you had like in the classic mode, it kind of makes sense where you have common matchups that you kind of know how they're going to go, because you know that they are going to meet each other very often. And with this, like with the new draft thing, it kind of like exponentially goes into any other way that you could basically get the units together in any other way in any other mode. So I get why you basically get the level of complexity much harder across when you do draft mode versus classic mode. Totally makes sense.
Yeah, and what's even worse is that we just had draft mode like a month and a half ago. So before that, it was mixed, which was totally random units, totally random heroes. So you had no control at all over what you can do. And this is actually a very big debate that was going on, which is that a lot of people enjoyed Classic because they didn't want the randomness. They didn't want the, well, I'm just losing out the gate because I don't have this unit and my opponent has this unit. It's not fair.
Yeah.
And then when you play Classic, well, okay, I played this matchup like 500 times. I'm bored out of my mind. Like, I know what's going to happen. I just want to get something fresh.
It's hilarious. So, why? Like, that randomness is exactly the same thing where people will complain in Risk. You know, in FFAs where you get your random spot, like your spawns, and also 1v1s, you know it. So that has always been something that we've been accompanying with. Seeing that play into Direct Strike, what you've been saying right now, is actually funny and hilarious in a sense, right? But yeah, it's funny to see the similarities and also the frustration in some sense. But honestly, I think what comes into play here, I think that is mentality. Like I think I think you can apply the same logic here with Risk of when you say you should not be, blaming your spots or your own, let's say, drafts that you get. You just try to do the best of what you have when you get in here. I think that is a much better approach that makes a game like this enjoyable. I think I like the idea of the draft mode. But yeah, I get both points.
And I think I'll give you a similarity maybe because I actually watched some of the games that goes on Risk, even though I'm like AFK from the community. So I'll tell you what, like if you see people at top level, like who's the best like in FFA? It's like Soxu, Easter. Okay, got it. Who's the best in 1v1? Okay, Soxu, Easter. Okay, Sap as well. So what's the main thing that separates them from everyone else? And people don't think about that.
I mean, it's experience.
Not necessarily.
One.
Well, not really. I don't think so. There are people that are playing much older than them. I think one is like controls, so micro, like they have the sharpness. So for example, if you translate to that Direct Strikes, like timings, like at what time do I get my hero? What time do I get these units? What time do I tech? But most importantly is that they don't give up, right? They don't tilt.
Yeah.
They may seem that they're tilted, right? Like they may seem that they're frustrated, but they're still making the right decision that they think is the right decision at that moment,
Yeah.
right? And that's what separates the people that's like suddenly, oh, they've done this like 100 times, and every loss they took,
Yeah.
they didn't just get frustrated. Oh, they learned from it. It's like, oh, I should have done this differently in that situation.
Yeah.
And that's why people that don't give up usually become better over time if they're not giving up and still trying to learn, still trying to improve. No one gets cocky. So for example, imagine someone playing Risk and getting cocky. It's like, oh, I'm always pushing like Bosnia, like I'm doing the Albania drop. I know it's going to work. And then I'm refined it so well. Suddenly it doesn't work because either my opponent's like out expanding me or defending better or counter dropping. It's like, oh no, now my mechanic doesn't work. I'm now raging. This is bullshit. I should have this. No, it worked for 5 reasons that were in your favor. In this situation, 3 of them weren't in your favor, so therefore you lost. So therefore you have to find another solution.
True.
And if one guy tries to find one more solution, and then the other guy keeps complaining, well, guess what? After 500 games, there's not going to be any... It's not going to be close.
I agree.
So that's the same thing in my opinion, Risk and DS and like all games.
No, it is true. It is true. I see the similarities. I mean, of course, there is that point of never giving up, and it's actually true, right? There are people that have been playing custom games for like a long time and have not been good at it, right? Like it's true, and it's not a bad thing, right? Like as long as you're having fun, that's the most important part. Like trying to have fun at the game. But if you really want to get good at it, this mentality, I think you can apply that to almost everything in life. So it's good to see the same, let's say, mentalities and things, translate also into custom games, which is cool. So,
and I mean, obviously, I just want to say one point. Obviously, people play for different reasons. So, like, if you play for fun, like, have at it, play for fun. People de-stress after work with the games. That's fine. I'm just strictly speaking about like improving at gameplay wise.
For sure,
like,
for sure.
You need to have that.
Frank, we have like 1.5 hours now into this one. I think we have so much more to talk about. Like we can do so much more content on this one. Maybe more specialized on things, but this was more of a general, like rough outlook on things. I think we can make a cut here. And then talk about like other things in other sessions here. So is there anything you wanted to share for the community, with the community from Direct Strike? Anything that you also wanted to get out there?
I mean, I could, but honestly, I'm not doing this as like representative or something. I'm just like, I want to talk about like the game and
Gotcha.
help people like improve. If people have any questions, like let me know. I did offer and I will offer, of course, anyone that like wants help. I was for a long time like coaching anyone that asks, but I have very limited time at the moment, so I can only like help on weekends. I want to play as well. So anyone like from Risk or anyone that wants like help, join the Discord. Check for me or any other like experienced players and ask questions. People stream their games, talk about different strategies you had, games you had, what you can do. Just have fun with the game and just don't tilt. And that's it. Don't tilt and have fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Frank, and thank you everyone watching this. We'll see you on the next one. And if you like this video, we will get out more Direct Strike content out here. Since we know it's been popping up, we actually do even more content on other stuff other than Direct Strike and the Risk. But stay tuned. Check out the rest, and thank you very much. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.